Hey guys, what's up? Southern Car back with another video. This is going to be very speculation heavy, so if it's not your thing, just click away now. I know how this community is with speculation, so just heads up warning. So Thunder sent me this on Twitter this morning in a DM. He told me he was going to make a video on it, and I asked if I could get his permission to use it in a video for my own channel, and he gave me the okay. So that's what we're doing. I didn't want to use his material and his detective work that he put in without his permission. I don't think that's right. So I got his permission, and here we are. Um, I'm going to go ahead and say up front that I'm 99% sure that this is probably just bullcrap. Once you take into account that this is coming from 4chan, and they're not exactly known for credibility. But I'm going to talk about it anyway. We're going to speculate on it and go from there. So, right about now, I'm going to pop it up on the screen and we're going to read through it, just kind of skim through it, and then we'll talk about it. So this guy apparently knows a guy at Hello Games, and they have told him that there's a content drop coming mid-June that's going to be linked to the weekend missions. He says there is some sort of in-game ARG that will give snippets of what's included in the update. So apparently this ARG is going to lead up to the summer update. He says they've been working on ambitious things with their procedural generation engine that will improve terrain diversity and formations. New biomes will be introduced, more alien-looking planets, updated fauna and flora, and so in the fauna and flora, according to this guy, is going to make sense based on their planetary environments. So I guess dinosaurs and lush environments, the little what are they called? I can't even think of what I'm trying to describe now. But basically, desert animals will be in deserts. Tropical animals will be in tropical environments, and so on and so forth. He says new biomes will be introduced, new assets will be included, and weirder assets at that. Actual orbital mechanics, so planets will supposedly spin on their axis and rotate around the sun. He said Hello Games have reworked their engine from the ground up, and the planet's climate and the placement in the systems are now more realistic. Cold planets are further away from the sun, hotter planets are closer to the sun, etc. New combat element, I'm not entirely sure. He says there is some new race, a new enemy race that will be introduced. Improved combat, be on foot and in air combat. All the mech stuff that they added will also make sense very soon. So I'm guessing that he's alluding that we're going to use the exomechs to fight against the new enemy. He says his source mentioned to him about crossplay possibly being added in, but he didn't seem for sure if that was for the current gen or for the upcoming consoles, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. He says HG does have plans for next gen ports, and they are in the stages of developing that, but do not expect that straight away once the new consoles are released. So let's dive into this, because this is very, very interesting. Some of it I can see happening. Some of the other stuff I don't think will ever come. So let's start with that. Let's start with the stuff that I don't think will ever come. The orbital mechanics, I don't think will ever come. And I say that because, excuse me, Hello Games said, either before release or shortly after release, that they had orbital mechanics in the game before release, and it confused the heck out of the playtesters. You would fly down to a building on a planet, leave the planet, go back into space, and try to fly back to that building, but it was gone. Obviously, because the planet is rotating, the buildings aren't going to stay in one place, and that just confused the playtesters, so they just took it out and scrapped it. For that reason, I don't think we'll ever see planets spinning on their axis. I could see them rotating around the sun, I think that would be a lot easier to keep track of as a player versus planets spinning on their own axis. Um, him saying that they have revamped their proc gen engine, they would require a universe reset. Unless they pull some wizardry and have found a way around that. To me, if you're going to rework the engine, that would say, to me, that says there's going to be a reset. As much as they have focused on base building and have catered to the base building part of the community, I don't think they would do that, because I think that would make a lot of people upset. And I know that there was the poll on Reddit a while back where like 99% of the people said, yeah, reset it, we don't care, we want better environments. Um, but Reddit's a small minority of the entire community. Um, I don't see that happening. I hope I'm wrong. I would completely take a reset, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't see that happening. New biomes introduced to more alien planets. I do see that happening eventually. They've already added biomes before and they haven't reset anything, so I could very well see that happening. He says reworked combat. I could see that happening because they've already reworked it a couple of times. Um, on foot and in air combats, I could see that happening. Uh, Especially with y'all mentioning the exomech. That was my first thought when they released the exomech. Like, yeah, it's cool to have, but why? Why do we have a giant ass robot for no reason? That makes no sense. Um, if you have nothing to fight against, there's no point to have a Titanfall ripoff, right? Um, Crossplay. He talks about crossplay being added in. That seems like a big stretch for um, for shoot um, for PC players. Um, Sony and Xbox, I could see, just because Sony has finally loosened their grip on that. But again, that's once you start dealing with procedural generation, it's not like Call of Duty where you have a set map and everybody's playing on that same map. It's a completely different animal. These quote unquote maps are being generated on the fly. Granted, it's all math based, 2 plus 2 is always 4, but it's still a different animal. And I think it would be very difficult to integrate crossplay within that, but hey, if they can do it, I'm all for it. I think crossplay is the future of gaming. I think Sony finally backing down from that has kind of opened that door. And just to reference back to Call of Duty, and just kind of a sidebar here, I think in the Call of Duty series in particular, crossplay, that's just how it's going to be from here on out. And I think that's going to be gaming in general. He says they do have plans for next-gen ports. They're in the stages of developing that, but do not expect it straight away when next gen is released. I do believe that. Sean said they were working on something very ambitious, and they haven't said anything else about it aside from that sentence. We were working on something very ambitious. So yeah, I could see them working on a next gen port. I don't think they're working on a No Man's Sky 2. If they were working on No Man's Sky 2, they wouldn't be adding stuff to No Man's Sky. Right? I mean, this is still, you have to think, this is still a 20, 30 man team, right? You can only spread 30 guys so thin. You've already got a few guys working on the last campfire. You've already got the rest of the team updating No Man's Sky 1. Who the heck else is left to develop No Man's Sky 2? So I don't see that happening for a few years anyway. So next gen ports, very, very realistic, I think. I think that's a real possibility. So, but I wanted to make the video. I wanted to share this, get this information out there. Like I said, I know Thunder's made a video on it, and I'll link his Twitter, his profile, his YouTube channel, all that stuff in the description below. Check him out. Leave your comments and thoughts here on my video, and tell me what you think, man. I'm interested to see what the community thinks about this. And I'll see you guys on the next video. All right. You guys have a good one. Be safe. I know, especially my fellow Americans here. We got some tough times right now. So everybody, be safe, and we'll see you guys on the next video. All right. See ya.